Alright, here we are back up at the chapel. Let's go talk to Anselm, see if he knows what's going on down in the crypts there.
Yes, hello to you.
I welcome you back to my humble chapel. How may I serve? Brother Anselm, I have some strange news for you. Some undead appeared in the crypt. What? Here? But how? Where did they come from? Those tombs are sealed and consecrated. It is possible that the zombies were summoned. There was an aura of recent necromantic magic about them. If that is the case, then I must find out who or what was involved in their summoning. Thank you for informing me of this. I could aid you, Anselm. I could not accept. The church has very little to give an adventurer such as yourself. Still, I must admit that my strength is in ministry, not in thwarting necromancers with their servants. Let's see what we have here. That is all the more reason for you not to have to do this on your own. Believe me, Anselm, when I say that I would be glad to help you. Ilmater bless you. I accept your offer. It occurs to me that this is only possible that someone who has access to the crypt could possibly have left the zombies in. There are two individuals besides me who have keys, my acolytes, Dune and Oberon. Tell me more of Dune and Oberon. Both of them are relatively new to drawn swords, and to me. I wrote to my mother church in Asbroven requesting clerical aid there, and they sent them. They have been here since Flame Rule, so about 3 months. Their leader of introduction said that they were natives of Sunset Vale, where Asbroven stands. It did cross my mind that it was strange I did not know them, being from Asbroven myself. Did you think either of them could have been responsible? Insofar as they are clerks of Ilmater, I think it quite impossible. On the other hand, I'm not a complete stranger to the way the world works. Why either of them would be summoning zombies to the crypt is another question altogether. I shall go question them. They lodge in the Sword and Dragon. Farewell, and try not to let word get out about this. I do not know Oberon or Dune very well, but if either is hiding something, he is doing a very good job of it. The Knights of the Ruby Rose are uncommonly good at distinguishing foul from fair. So it seems that Manfred continues to plague me from beyond the grave. After all, he was the only reason we ever went down into that crypt to begin with. Lead on. Alright, let's take a look at the journal. I have agreed to help Brother Anselm investigate the zombie presence in the crypts. He thinks I should start by asking some questions of his clerics, Dune and Oberon, who are the only other people who have access to the crypt. Both of them lodge at the Sword and Dragon Inn. The innkeeper could probably direct me to them. Alright, so let's go on down to the town. Alright, here we are outside of the keep. So we're going to come down here. We got somebody down here, Ace and a woodcutter. Alright, so let's see. Locked door.
Sorry, I can't help you.
And what was this place? This was Astracord's Antiquarium and Provisions, so let's go there next. And we have 2 folks in here, 3 folks. Let's see, who's this? Kasha, a cat. Meow. And Udin Astracord. And Gosham Thistlefall. Let's talk to
Pleased
Udin.
to see you.
Greetings, I am Udin Astracord, proprietor. You're adventurers, I take it. A pleasing sight for a dealer of antiquarian objects. And because Ian Flavilis walks with you, you must be adventurers of a good sort. Your logic flatters me, Udin. Nay, Inth, it is your presence that flatters me. I am the only one in Drawn Swords to realize how much you honor the town by being here, so I do not think my courtesy too extravagant. So, what can I do for you on this fine autumn day? Tell me about yourself, Udin. Ah, most delightful subject. I jest, of course. I am merely an old shopkeeper, an amateur collector and historian. I grew up in Gullikin on the Sword Coast, but spent most of my adult life in Baragost. How'd you end up in Drawn Swords? Danmar, the innkeeper, used to be something of an adventurer, and he and I often met in Feldpost's Inn in Baragost. After he took over the Sword and Dragon, he invited me to open up a shop in Drawn Swords, generously splitting the costs of building with me. So you are a shopkeeper and a scholar, I take it. Yes, in fact, if you are going to be adventuring in the area, you ought to come to me if you have any questions about local history. The Backlands have much lore, but little of it is known. Where did you acquire all these treasures? Some of it comes from trading with adventurers when I lived in Baragost. A good deal of my trove, though, comes from an auction that was held near Daggerford when a famous antiquarian named Torlith Mindlespear passed away. I purchased some of my best items from his estate. Udin, perhaps you know something about a door I found in the Sword's Keep crypt. Tell the shopkeeper about the door and the poem. Interesting indeed. That is a stanza from an anonymous old poem called The Falcon and the Dove. The door, on the other hand, probably leads into the tomb of Ludos, the robber knight who built Sword Keep. If, as you say, it was hidden, it was probably overlooked by Berensons when they renovated the keep, and has remained overlooked until now. What the door and the inscription have to do with each other is a mystery to me, although Roman is probably right that figuring out the connection would get you into the tomb. Alright, so I have a lore option here. I know The Falcon and the Dove. That is a love poem. And that the poet's beloved lost her life at the mythical place called Castle Joyous. Do you know anything else about it? Suddenly bristling with excitement. Why, of course, the castle. That must be it. I happen to know that the castle where the poem takes place is not a myth, as many believe, and that it lies a day's march from Drawn Swords. I know very little about it otherwise, though. What could this have to do with Ludos, the robber knight, or his tomb? I have no idea how Ludos could be connected to Castle Joyous or his poem. He was, by all accounts, a cruel and vicious man, and eventually starved to death in Sword's Keep because he had no subjects loyal enough to stay over winter with him. I believe that the clergy of Helm entombed him. Perhaps it was merely a fancy of theirs to steal him in with an inscrutable poem rather than a key. But if there are answers to be had, Castle Joyous seems like the best place to start. You are lucky. I am one of the few that have a map of this area old enough to pinpoint its location for you, though I must warn you that the monsters of the Backlands have probably staked it out. Then perhaps we shall have to go investigate this Castle Joyous ourselves. As you know, I was initially apprehensive about tomb raiding, but I have to confess that the mystery intrigues me. We do have much to do already, though. You should know by now that I go where you follow, Paldor. I trust you implicitly, you know. I'm a little more suspicious of the gold with which our adventurers have lined my pockets, but I'm learning to trust it. If you decide to pursue this, Paldor, I wish you all the best. And don't forget to tell me what you find out, or to sell me what you find. I am most curious myself. Thank you, Udin. Farewell. Okay, so journal entry update. Castle Joyous. Udin Astakor told me that the door probably leads to the tomb of Ludos, the robber knight who built Sword's Keep. The poem on the door is a stanza from The Falcon and the Dove, an anonymous love poem that was actually set at nearby Castle Joyous. Udin has marked the location of Castle Joyous for me on my map. We should head back there and look for more clues and possibly the password that will open the door. Okay, so let's see. He had some stuff to sell yet. Let me see what you have for sale. Of course. My nephew Gosham over by the window is an adventurer himself. He's a clerk of Sheila Perryroyal and might be interested in joining your party. Just a thought. Remember that I will also pay well to buy certain items. Okay, so he's got some magic items here. Looks like all of them are very expensive too. Let's see, what can we even afford here? Let's bike Bickrash studded leather. Let's see what this is. Studded leather +1. Eternal helm. Helm charisma +1, concentration +2. Maroon's old cape. Cape deflection +1. Monk's hood. Poison bonus saves +2 and concentration +2. Red rune shield. Heavy shield +1. Vardris's padded suit. Padded armor +1. And the rest of this stuff is pretty expensive. I can't even. Oh, Cape of the Scarlet Mummers. Cloak of Deflection again. Braciers of the Smith. Armor class -1 and a tumble bonus +2. Belt of Exalted Strength. Armor bonus versus Chaotic Evil and Strength bonus. So he's got some reasonable magic items. Let's see what he's got for weapons. A lot of expensive weapons out of my realm so far, except Farmer Z's Kama. This is a Kama +1. That's cool that they name them instead of just saying, oh, it's a Kama +1 or something like that. Named items are pretty cool. So. Alright, and potions and spells. Got a good selection of spell scrolls. Thrall wine, what is this? Bull strength potion and Verithar's powder. Cure minor wounds. Felsu flower oil. Sweet odor of Felsu flowers is a prized scent throughout Faerun. The yellow and purple flowers are harvested in spring from a scrubby small tree native to northern Faerun that grows in rocky, otherwise barren soil. Unknown what it does though. I guess we'll find out later on if we need it. Okay, let's see. And trinkets. Brooch of the cat is pretty expensive. Ring of Merry Revels. Ring of Deflection +1. Got a few of them. And the rest of that's pretty spendy. What are these? And a bunch of lore books. Some of these are quite expensive. Ace of Coins. I wonder why that's so expensive. I don't remember this at all. Yep, a lot of lore books. Monk Ohm's portable acidic apparatus. What is this? Acid splash, unlimited uses. What is this one? Flask of acid. Acid splash once. Okay, so Udin's got where all the high-end magic items are. So we don't really need anything right now. So let's talk to Gosham Thistlefall.
Yes, hello to you.
Greetings, friend. I am Gosham Thistlefall, follower of Sheila Perryroyal, an adventurer. Who might you be? I am Peldor Volm, wizard and adventurer. I'm honored to meet you. Likewise. Adventurer, are you? Well, Peldor, I have a proposal for you. You are an adventurer, and so am I. I came to this region from Cormorp, to the south, for 2 reasons. Would you hear them? Tell on. The first is simply that I wish to see the world, to walk among strange trees, and do whatever good I am capable of doing. The second is that, besides being an adventurer and priest, I am a student of the natural world, and particularly of botany. This region has a number of rare flora that I would like to investigate. My nephew comes by collecting quite naturally, though I personally do not understand why anyone would prefer picking posies to collecting books and antiquities. Well, Uncle Odin, a flower can be as much a book as any of these things scattered across your floor. For those who are literate in the ways of flowers, of course. I agree with you, Gosham. Nature can teach us much. I'm glad to hear you say so. In any case, I'm looking for a group of adventurers to join. I offer you my skill in healing, knowledge of the natural world, and of this, if this does not stand too vain, my level head, not to mention my sling. It warms my heart to know that my serious-minded young nephew is still the boy famous for squirrel slaying in Gullikin. Indeed, though, I have slain a few things more dangerous than squirrels since then. Will you have me, Peldor? Yes, Gosham. Excellent. My own task certainly isn't urgent, but if you'd like, we can head to Northdark Wood to look for flora. I'll give you a list of the plants I am looking for. I'm glad to have you join us, Halfling. I have a passing interest in certain plants myself. Indeed, Gosham, it is good to have a cleric among us, and Sheila Periroyal shares some aspects with my goddess soon. Thank you, and let us be on our way. And if you don't mind, I'd like to hear your story so far, Peldor. I'm sure that whatever adventure you are on is at least as grand as mine. Of course, I will speak as we walk.